Happy New Year, Stitchers! Welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches. That's the same here and on Instagram. My name is Kelly and I'm happy to be here with you. I know I was just here a day ago. I just posted my December update yesterday. But I wanted to come back today because not only is January 1st, you know, the first day of the new year, it's also my Flosstube anniversary, my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. So I wanted to kick this year off with a WIP parade, as well as go over my plans for 2023. But before I do anything, let me just address some things. So I'm sitting on the floor in front of my stitchy spot instead of my usual filming location, just because I was really feeling being relaxed. I don't know. I'm wearing a shirt I sleep in. I've got my hair up in a mess. I was just really feeling the chill vibe. That's kind of how I want to go into the year 2023. So today I'm sitting on the floor. I've got all my piles of stuff around me. I have my cat in my lap. This is his. And then right here where this teddy bear is a dog bed, and my dog Milo is asleep there. So that's the reason for the change of location. And if you see little ears pop into the screen, it's just because they want to be a part of the channel too. So okay, well, that being said, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's checking this video out, especially if you just saw the last one. You know, thank you for coming back for more. I know that a lot of people will watch other Flosstubers WIP parades to just kind of get like a feel for who they are before they decide if they want to subscribe to their channel. So I figured I could take this opportunity to reintroduce myself to anybody who might be new here. Like I said, my name's Kelly. I am 33 years old and I live in Texas, not too far outside of Houston. And I have 1 dog and 1 cat. My dog's name, who's sleeping here, is Milo. He's a toy fox terrier. I'll insert a picture so you can see what he actually looks like. And then my cat's name is Hef. They're both rescue babies, and they're both little old men. So Milo will be 16 this year and Hef will be 15. Both little low curmudgeons, but they're my fur babies and I love them. I work in healthcare. I work in radiology, so that's all things imaging. That's what I do every day. Outside of work though, my passions are cross-stitching, quilting, and reading. Those are the 3 hobbies that I'm pretty well obsessed with. So I have Flosstube videos for my cross-stitching, I have quilters videos for my quilting, and then I start each video with a reading update for that previous month. So obviously I'm not going to do that for this one because I literally just did it yesterday. So let's start going through it, shall we? Let's go through all of my WIPs, and then at the end I want to go through the projects that I intend to start for 2023. So it's going to be like a WIP parade, year in review kind of thing, plus a mini stash parade at the end, and I'm going to show you all the things that I want to start in the next 12 months. So I started 2022 and my YouTube channel with only 4 WIPs, and I'm going to go through those plus how the year progressed and just show you everything in chronological order and how much I was able to accomplish. Okay, so first things first, it's actually my biggest one currently, is this WIP here. This is a Designworks kit called Woodland Castle, and it is stitched on 14 count white Aida, 2/1 full cross. It is full coverage. And I started this one in July of 2021. If I forget to give you guys the stats on like when I started it or what I'm stitching it on or all that, I'll be sure to put it in the screen somewhere so that you have that information. But this one I still have on this frame. It's on a big giant scroll frame. So the top half is done, and unfortunately you can't see it because obviously I've scrolled. Now I'm working on this section here, the front half of the squirrel. So this is the one that I've been working on the longest. My plan is to hopefully have this one finished by summer this year, although if I don't make it by summer, that's okay. But I do, there's a couple ones that I want to focus on to for sure finish in the next year. And this is one of them because it's my oldest WIP. But if I can't finish it by summer, then oh well, who cares? But I would like to finish it by the end of 2023 for sure. Oh, and of course I will have all the patterns and projects and everything linked down below. So after Woodland Castle, I started working on this one here. This is Mirabilia. The pattern name is Ophelia. I started this one in August of 2021. And this one is being stitched on a 32 count linen in the color dark olive. And this is where she is now. There we go. So I finished, if you're familiar with Mira patterns, they're divided into two, a top and a bottom. So I have finished the top completely. I didn't manage to put any stitches in her in the month of December, but she is definitely about to come out again soon. I need to put her on the frame so that I can access the bottom of the fabric now, and then keep trucking. My goal is to have her finished by October because that's when I go to the Queen City Stitch Retreat, which is the new Mira themed retreat started by Fiber Arts Amy and Kitschy Whips. So yeah, here she is. The only thing I haven't done on this top part here is the beading. I'm gonna do all the beading last, but I've done all of the back stitching and all of the cross stitching and everything. But she's my first Mira, my first fancy lady ever, and I think she's pretty fabulous. And I do have to apologize, none of my fabric is ironed. Like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to apologize. All right, like I said, we are relaxing our way into the year 2023. So nothing's ironed, but oh well. So anyways, where did I stop? Just below her hand, you know, right there. So I just got to do the bottom of the skirt, which obviously is a little bit more stitch dense, but it is a lot more color blocking. So it might not slow me down any more than the top part did, but because this one I want to finish by October, that's the second project that I'm going to be focusing on in the coming year. Okay, so the next one I started after my Mira is this project here, and I got this pattern off of Etsy. She doesn't have a name, she's just got like numbers as the title, so I have been calling her my Blue Victorian Lady. And this one I started the same month in August of 2021. She's stitched on a 20 count Aida in the colorway Purple Passion, 2/1 full cross. And this is where I got to with her. So this one, you guys won't see anymore. I have decided officially that she will be a UFO because, for a number of reasons. Very shortly after I started her, I realized that the price that I paid for her on Etsy is a pretty clear indication that the artwork was very likely stolen from another source, because because it was like $2. And then I found this pattern plus other ones that were being sold from that Etsy shop on, I believe it's the Cross Stitch Boutique. And they were also selling these patterns as PDFs, but for a much higher price. That was the first reason that I thought that that artwork was stolen. But I've decided to step away from it because it's just been a real pill. Like, I had never stitched on 20 count before. I don't know why I decided to do it for this one, but 2/1 full cross on a 20 count is not enjoyable. Like, it's just too thick and just too much. So there's that. And then the other thing is the pattern is listed in Anchor floss colors, and I don't have Anchor. Obviously I could get some, but I had DMC at my disposal. So what I did was they give you a DMC conversion chart. So I've converted all the colors to DMC. But when you do the conversion, there are multiple symbols from Anchor that are one color in DMC. So then I would have to, like, in order to save myself some time, I'd have to like go back in the chart, make notes in the margins about which symbols are all this one color so that I could stitch them all together instead of separately. And then also the DMC colors compared to Anchor, I've heard are a lot more muted, and I would agree with that. I mean, looking in the camera, it's coming out okay, but in face to face, these all look very like one color. It's just, I don't know. It's been a real pill. So I ultimately, when it came time to pull this out every time, I really wasn't, it was kind of a chore. Like, I really wasn't enjoying the process. And frankly, there's far too many gorgeous patterns in my stash and the like to be wasting time on a project that I wasn't enjoying working on. So I have decided that because of all of those things collectively, I'm gonna UFO her. I don't care for it. And then, I mean, I masking taped the edges, which I'm told you're not supposed to do. Didn't know that when I started it. So yeah, I don't know. Look at the back here. Look at how, like, ugh. I mean, I'm not the type to like care what my backs look like, but whenever the confetti is so heavy that whenever I had to like push my needle through that, it wasn't enjoyable. So anyways, she is no longer going to be in rotation. As far as what I'm planning to do with this piece, I don't know. I might, I don't know. There's still plenty of fabric left over that I can cut off and use for something else, so I'm gonna do that, so at least that part's not wasteful. But I don't know, she might just be a remnant of times gone by, times past. But yeah, it's a shame because the pattern's beautiful, and I actually did end up buying 2 other ones from that same shop at the same time to go with her. They were 2 other fancy ladies, and I kitted them all up together. In fact, I have all the, like, I put it all on bobbins and got all the extra flosses in here. So, but now that I've officially decided that I'm pretty well done with it, I'm gonna start the process of taking these off the bobbins because I don't like to use bobbins anymore. But that kind of feels like a chore, so I'm just gonna hold off on that as long as possible. Okay, so after my Blue Victorian Lady, I started Elegant Geisha, which I will put a picture here of what Elegant Geisha looks like. I started her in November of 2021. I was just kind of looking for something small that would finish up pretty quick, and I had this Dimensions Gold Petite Kit in my stash, and it's stitched with an 18 count ivory Aida, and I finished her. She is one of the WIPs that I managed to finish in the year 2022. She was finished in February of 2022, and here is what she, I'm sorry, I'm getting all the cat hair off the picture. Here's what she looks like, fully finished. My elegant geisha, I love her. She's nice and vibrant and beautiful. I love the hanging plants in the background. I love the subtle like peach kind of like waviness in the background. I did put my start and finish dates on there, which I'm probably not going to do for all my projects, but I did it for her because, you know, she's my first finish for Flosstube, so I wanted to remember. So she's really beautiful. There is some gold blending filament in there. It's in, let's find it. It's in all the like these stripes in her her sash here. It's in like the decorative edges around like the fan and all that. And there are specialty stitches, which is my first kind of go around with specialty stitches, obviously back stitching, but French knots, lazy daisies, and then these guys who, what are these stitches called? I don't remember the name of these off the top of my head. I'll insert it down below, but that was my first go around with those too. She lives on top of my bookcase. She just kind of, I have a little like display up there, and she kind of sats like leaned back. So yeah, I love her. I love my elegant geisha. So those were the 4 WIPs that I had started going into 2022, this past year. I had those 4 at the beginning before my very first video on Flosstube. So I started the year with those 4. And then when I got to the end of January, before I posted my first January update, I did a new year, new start. So in January 2022, I started this project here. This is Frederick the Literate by Dimensions. It's just their regular kit. It's not the gold collection, which basically just means it's not full coverage entirely, and it's typically done on a larger count. So this is done on 14 count black Ada 2/1 full cross. And while there is a lot of full coverageness in here, this black section, and then down in here, that's all the fabric. There's no stitching there. So this is where Frederick is now. The pattern in the kit is divided into kind of fourths. So this is the top section on the, I guess it would be, if you're looking at it, it would be the left, but so my plan for this one is to keep going that way on the bookshelf and then come back around on the bottom shelf. But I got this one because he reminded me of my parents' cat Baxter, who is a tabby, or was a tabby. Baxter passed away a little while ago, but he was the sort of inspiration behind this purchase. And so I have gotten roughly 25%, maybe a little bit more, because I do have this section done up here. The book is split in 2 on the first and second page, so roughly a little bit more than 25%. And then at the end of February, I had finished my Elegant Geisha like I showed you, so I did a new start for that one. And I started this project here, which is a Christmas stocking by Kooler Design Studio. It's the Christmas Cuddle stocking. I decided that was the one to start because I wanted to try and have it finished by Christmas, which I was able to accomplish. So I started it in February and I finished it I believe I finished it in September and then fully finished it in October. But so here is my fully finished stocking. So I did have it done in time to get it hung up for this Christmas. Again, tabby cat, but like a cute little teddy bear cuddling with the cat in front of the fireplace is the scene there. I got my name stitched in there, and it's hard to see, but it does say 2022 in red. Yeah, it's probably not going to focus on it, but you can see it in person. So yeah, and then here is the backing fabric. I love the backing fabric because it's these goofy kitties. that are doing crazy Christmas stuff. And then the inside fabric is the same as the little hook. It's just this metallic kind of berry print. And then I just put some piping around the edge, and it was stitched 2/1 on a 14 count green Aida. So like when you stitch on 14 count 2/1, you can see some of the fabric through, not, you know, like a terrible amount, but you can still see some. So I wanted it, the back, what was behind it, I mean, I wanted that to be on the darker side rather than having just a plain white. And I love it. I love this one so much. This is full coverage. The only specialty stitching is there's like 5 or 6 French knots up here that are supposed to be berries. And there's some back stitching, like very minimal back stitching, like on their faces. And that's it. That is my Kooler Design Studio Christmas Cuddle stocking. So after that one, the next project I started, I actually don't have with me anymore because it was a gift for my mother. It was a start in April. It was actually a SAF. It was a start and finish in April because it was just a tiny little cute thing. And it was this project here. This is Sparrow by Riolis. And Riolis does, not all of their kits, but most of their kits are like the wool acrylic blend. So it's like a thicker, fuzzier kind of floss that comes wrapped around on the, like the cards. So I did this one for her just because she is like a bird person. They live out in the country, and so, you know, they like to feed the birds and do some bird watching. And of course they have cats as well that also like to do that. So I just thought this would be perfect. And I was a start and a finish in April, and then I had fully finished it just before Mother's Day and gave it to her on Mother's Day. This is a photo of it fully finished and in the frame that I gave to her. So after that, also in May, I started my next project, which is this one here. And this is the Pointed Fifth by Long Dog Sampler. Also, if you see my blinds moving, the AC just kicked on and it blows like right on them, so they move. Don't worry, there's no, my place isn't haunted. Anyways, I started the Long Dogs, this Long Dog Sampler here. It's my first Long Dog, and I'm really loving it. I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Exotic Orchid. I'm excited about this one because my friend Jen, the Backcountry Stitcher, just started it as well. And funny story, we actually like completely unintentionally are stitching with the same color. Mine has more colors in it. She's doing just one color, but it's the same color. So here is where I've gotten to, which is in the middle. This is the middle row. So on this side, I have one more of these panels, these full panels like this in the middle, and then one more triangle bit, and then this half panel, and I will have reached the opposite side. The finished dimensions on this is like 22 by 20. Let me actually, you know what? Yeah, 22 by 22 approximately, give or take like a fraction of an inch. And this color palette that I chose, I picked from a photo I had seen on Pinterest of fabric, I think. And so I just kind of went to my craft store and found floss colors that looked like it, and that's what I chose. And the color that I'm using and the color that Jen's using is that dark purple that's in the border. That's number 154 DMC. So this is the other one that I want to focus on to really try and push for a finish next year. Whether or not I accomplish that, I don't know. This one I kind of realized looking back on it that it's kind of a lofty goal, because since I started this in May, it's now January and I haven't even done like a third of it. I think getting it finished by next year will be a bit of a miracle. with the best of intentions, I stitched the year 2023 thinking I sure I'll be able to finish it in 2023, which I will try, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. So if not, then that date's gonna get changed. So then in June, I started this pattern here. This is called the Witchy Desk, and it's another Etsy pattern that I purchased from a legitimate seller this time. And I finished this one. This is one of the ones that I was able to finish before the end of the year. I finished it right at the beginning of October, so I was able to get it fully finished in time to hang out on my wall before Halloween. And this is it here. I love it so much. It was so fun. It's super cute. I get compliments on it when people see it. I love it, love it, love it. So this is a 10 by 10 frame. The finished size is roughly like 9 by 9-ish. But it was actually not supposed to be that way, because what ended up happening, if you've been following the progress I had made on this project, you'll know I had fudged basically this entire bottom half, because I noticed kind of too late that I had made a mistake on this side, where I had stitched this border 5 stitches too short. But I didn't notice it until after I had started putting like all this in, and so rather than frogging all of that out, I was like, I'm gonna fudge it. So I just kind of made a little bit of alterations throughout. I shortened some things. I removed some of these bubbles, and I shortened like this ghost, and the candle down here is unlit. And it kind of was just like serendipity how it worked out, because by shortening it just that much, it looks so like nice in this frame, in that the borders all the way around are very even, and I like that a lot. So I am the type of person who doesn't stitch a lot of seasonal things. Now that I have a seasonal piece, I don't intend to take it down and after Halloween and only put it up for Halloween. Like this is gonna live on my wall year round. I have another finished piece that's Christmas Elegance by Mirabilia that was gifted to me from a family member. And even though it is very obviously a Christmas piece, it's far too gorgeous, and it collected far too much work and effort and sweat and blood and tears, I'm sure, to just sit in a closet for 11 months out of the year. So they live on my wall because I'm very proud of them. So this one lives on my wall, actually very near Christmas Elegance. And this is finished number 4 of the year. And it was my last finish of the year 2022, but I'm so super like impressed with it. I just love how much fun I had with it. The colors turned out really cute. The little elements turned out really cute. I just love it. I started my next project, which was this one here. This is Luna Mystica by Bella Filipina. So she is my first Bella Filipina fancy lady. I started Luna Mystica at the tail end of September, whenever I had finished my Christmas stocking. When I hadn't had it fully finished yet, but I did the stitching finish. So I went ahead and started Luna Mystica because I was pretty excited to get her going. And I decided that I wanted to do a conversion on her. So I converted her hair and skin to make her a black mermaid. And it just happened to coincide with the release of the new trailer for Disney's live action Little Mermaid, where Ariel is black. And I think that is poetic justice that trailer came out and everyone was really upset that she was black. I was like, well, ha ha ha, my mermaid is also black, so what are you gonna do about it? And I've loved every second of this project, and let me show you where she's at now. So I got her to this point here where this top half of her tail is pretty much done other than the beading. I got her arm and the lower part of her abdomen done, and I've started putting in her hair, and I just love it. I love how it's come together. I'm going to finish this part of her hair and start working up, and then hopefully we'll get to see her beautiful face soon. And I couldn't be more thrilled. I was a little bit worried with how the conversion would work out. I mean, it's obviously my first time doing a conversion as well. So, but I'm pretty stinking pleased with how it's coming together. So, this one will definitely get some more love here in this next year. Whenever I pull her out to stitch on her, I do have a difficult time like stopping, because I don't know, she makes me very happy to work on her. Like, it's one of those projects that just gives me like good vibes. So I just really enjoy working on it. This next project I started after I finished my Witchy Desk in October. And that's this project here. This is Mushroom Sampler that I got on Etsy. The shop name, I believe, is Cute Patterns by Maria. I saw this and put it on my cart pretty quickly. Something about mushrooms just appeals to me. I love them. So I thought this was in fact a very cute pattern. So I got that one started. And this one, it's still in the Q-snap because this is all gonna fit within, this is an 11 by 11 and it's all gonna fit within this Q-snap, so I just left it there. This is being stitched on a 16 count Ada in the colorway Brandywine, 2/1 full cross. And not only do I just think that the mushrooms are so stinking cute, but this whole like warm autumnal color palette is absolutely my vibe. I love that so much. So I started here with this guy, and then I went this way, and now, so I'm like gonna spiral. Like it's gonna go like this. I don't know why I want to do it that way, but it's just working out that it is happening that way. So yeah, it's super cute, loving it a bunch. And I like that the thing about projects like this that have like a bunch of like little motifs is every time you finish one, it's like you've hit like a mini milestone, you know? It's like it's its own little finish. Same thing with like my my long dog sampler. Every time I finish one of those triangle bits at the top, or like the panels, those little panels in between, super rewarding. So this one is equally as rewarding, and it's fast becoming a favorite of mine because it's just, God, they're so cute and they're so fun. So the last WIP that I have to show you that I finished out 2022 with is this one here. This is my New Year, New Start. I started it last night on December 31st while I was doing a Stitchy Zoom meetup with Carla Being Crafty, and we had a fantastic time. And it's this project right here, which is Clouds Factory Magical Creatures Calendar. Right in there. So my plan with this one is to do each little grid with the corresponding month that we're in. So I'm going to aim to finish January's box by the end of this month. And last night I got my start, and here it is. Now, you may notice a couple of strange things about this. First of all, the model shows a very light colored fabric in the background, and all of the other pictures that I've seen it on, it's on a very light colored background, like a soft green or pink or purple. And I thought I would go that direction, but then I saw this like obnoxiously loud purple, and I was like, that's fun. Purple is my favorite color, so I was like, let's do that. And I got it, and I do really enjoy it, but when I did my floss toss on it, I realized a lot of the colors are kind of disappearing on it a little bit, and I was like, oh, come on, man. So the solution that I came up with was, rather than wait to start it and wait for new fabric to be delivered, I was thinking that I would take some metallic threads and use them as blending filaments in certain parts of the design so that they popped out more, specifically in the parts that kind of got lost in the floss toss. So I bought these threads here, and these are all DMC. They're what were they called? Light Effects, I think is the name of this type. I mean, the white's not really showing up sparkly, but it is in real life. So the pattern is 2/1 full cross. By the way, this is a 16 count Ada in the colorway Lilac. And the pattern is 2/1 full cross. What I'm doing is in certain parts of the design, I'm subbing one of these threads for one of the regular cotton threads. And that is, I really hope this translates. Yeah, you can kind of see the sparkle. So the border is kind of a softer blue. It's actually this blue right here. And it kind of disappears a little bit on the fabric. Like, it doesn't stand out very well. So I added one filament of the blue Light Effects, and it looks pretty stinking great in my personal opinion. It's not like so loud. Like I didn't want it to be so obvious that it was like, I'm sparkly, but it is enough that it definitely stands out on the fabric. Like, obviously you don't lose that blue on this color. So I'm pretty excited about my kind of idea, and I hope this solution helps. So these are the colors that I'm gonna add to different aspects of the design. So for example, like where the snow and where, you know, some of the white bits are, I'm gonna put the white sparkly bit in there. This purple, like in the wings and in the titles, and I think, you know, there's some purple there. I'm gonna put the red in like the Phoenix, I forgot what it's called for a second. You know, and like maybe in the Little Mermaid's hair. So yeah, and then like there's some green for the dragon. That's where I'm planning on adding them. I'm really gonna have a good time with this. So I started this at 10 o'clock last night, which is when I logged into the Zoom, the Stitchy Zoom, and I got finished probably about like 1. I stayed on long enough to get through New Year's all the way through California. I rang in the New Year 4 different times as we moved through the time zones. So I finished about 1 because the last hour I was starting to feel sleepy, and I'd had a bunch of red wine. So I was like just chit-chatting at that point. But this is what I was able to accomplish at that time. Let's look at what else is in January. So I basically just did this chunk here, and then there's a little bit that goes around. I'm gonna go ahead and complete the box. And then I gotta do a centaur and some snow and a tree. And it looks like there's some little flowers down here too. So that's gonna be January. And we'll see if I'm able to keep up with this throughout the year. I would like to, like I said, stitch each grid with the corresponding month. So that way, by the time I get to the end of December, I will have a finish, another finish that I have worked on throughout the year. So I'm really excited about this one because this is, I mean, everybody knows Clouds Factory. They're really cute. Okay, so a couple of statistics. I'm just looking at my notes off camera here. So like I said before, I started 2022 with only 4 WIPs. So that's what I started my YouTube channel with. But I was able to get my hands on 12 WIPs by the end of the year. Of those 12 WIPs, 8 were new starts. 4 of those 12 WIPs were finishes, and 1 was an unfinished object. So I think that's pretty good, especially for my first go around with this. This is my first time really like truly dedicating time to cross stitch with like completion in mind for the purpose of sharing it on Flosstube and tracking statistics and stuff like that. So this is now going to be like my benchmark for how I determine success, I guess, the following year. But I've decided that I think I'm finally at a point where I feel brave enough starting more WIPs, in that the idea originally of doing more than like 10 really kind of intimidated me to have that many in my rotation. I thought, you know, there's no way that I would, if I have that many WIPs, there's no way that I would be able to show enough progress to like keep people interested. But also on the other hand, it's if I never start them, I never get to enjoy them. So my plan for this coming year, which we're going to go through, is I'm going to start at least one new WIP every month. I still have the goal of finishing, or at least aiming to finish, the 3 that I told you about in my WIP parade. And then I have my eye on a couple smalls that aren't in the ones that I'm about to go through that I think I might want to try and knock out. But I think 1 a month is enough to feed my new startitis, and it's enough to kind of keep some more variety in my WIP rotation. And then also, you know, it's exciting every time you watch a Flosstuber start a new WIP, right? Because you get to live vicariously through them, right? Isn't that part of the appeal for each of us, is to go to each other's channel and like follow along with their progress as though we're doing it too, right? So now I want to go through, I've gone through my entire stash, and I've pulled 12 projects that I've been salivating over to start, and I'm going to go through which ones those are. Now, I make these plans with the best of intentions, but I do want to say that of course I'm going to give myself the option of changing my mind at any given time, because it's my hobby. I can do what I want. So the Magical Creatures calendar was my January start, and I've got that going. When I get to February, I would like to start this kit here, which is called Cozy Cub. This is a Dimensions Gold Petite. It's a 5x7 finish. All the Dimensions Gold Petites are 5x7s, which is cool. And this one I've had for a while. I love it. I just think he's so cute. I love the colors. So this is gonna be the one that I bring out for February. It says here it's stitched on an 18 count ivory Aida. Here's the supplies in the back here. A really pretty warm color palette, which I like a lot. And I've already obviously done one Dimensions Gold Petite, so I know that I really enjoy these. So this is for February. In March, I'm planning to start this one here, which is another Designworks kit. Designworks is the brand of my Woodland Castle kit, so I know I like Designworks kits. And this one I had eyeballed for a long time before finally purchasing it. There's something about this kimono that I just kind of couldn't ever get out of my mind. I love it so much. This one is called Queen of Silk, and it's stitched on a 14 count. It's a 14 count Aida, but I don't know it's like a natural. I don't know if you saw that. I've already opened this, so that's all like messed up. But there's like a natural kind of like oatmeal color maybe. So yeah, this is gonna be my March start. So whenever we get past the cold weather and springtime starts coming around, this one is full of flowers. It's a very springy. So this one I will bring out at the beginning of March. In April, I want to start this kit here, which is called Happy Everything from Imaginating. And if you've heard me mention whenever I showed you this in my haul of the video that I purchased this in, I had mentioned that I might potentially want to either sub or add some little icons for holidays that aren't currently represented here, and that is still my plan. So what I did was I made a list of all the different holidays that I don't see on here that I would like to have represented. And my plan to do that is to stitch this as is with all the charted little symbols there, and then go back and potentially remove the borders, like the little stitch borders on the top and bottom, and then add other symbols around. So this one, of course it doesn't say on here, but it looks like it's stitched on a 14 count Aida. It's like the same kind of Aida that the last kit is actually, for the like a natural or an oatmeal kind of color. And then in terms of the holidays that I want to add that are not represented, New Year's, either something representing MLK or Black History Month, Mardi Gras, let's see, St. Patrick's is represented, Easter's represented, Earth Day, Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day. I want to add either like a cake or a gift basket in July for my birthday. Juneteenth, Independence Day. June is Pride Month, so I'd like that represented. October is Breast Cancer Awareness, so I'd like to add that. And then I would also like to add something for Hanukkah and Ramadan. Now Hanukkah is obviously in the winter, but Ramadan it moves throughout the year because it's based on the lunar calendar. I mean, Hanukkah, I've learned from Carla, is also based on the lunar calendar, but basically Ramadan shifts all throughout the calendar year. So I will put that one wherever I fit it in, you know what I mean? But obviously, you know, there's other things that are clearly represented here, like Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, back to school, Valentine's Day, Easter, you know. I wanted to add these holidays because while I am not a religious person by any stretch, I do enjoy learning about these different holidays. I also, you know, I have people in my life that I care about very much who celebrate these different things, and I like wishing them a happy whatever, a happy everything. So I like to, you know, just keep myself aware of all these different things. And like I said before, I like to leave seasonal stuff up year round. So this will be like an additional reminder for me for when those events are coming back around, so I can wish those to people. After that is May. And now, typically when I think of May and when I think of Flosstube, obviously a lot of people think of like May Madness or Stitch Mania, which is like where, you know, there's been a lot of starts, or people do a lot of crazy things in May where, you know, they work on a whole bunch of WIPs or whatever. But it was pointed out to me by a fellow Flosstuber whose name I don't remember. It was a gentleman, and he said that the name Mania or May Madness is kind of, you know, obviously it's got a negative connotation for those who actually are struggling with mental health. And so in the interest of not offending anyone, because of course I don't want to offend anyone, I'm changing May to Mother's Day May or Mother's May instead of Madness or Mania. And my plan for May is to start this project here. which is Spring Remembered by Paula Vaughn. And the reason why I want to start this one is because of this project. This project here. So this was stitched by my mother back in like the 80s or 90s. And she had it framed, and it now lives in my home and hangs on my wall. And I love it so much. So I had decided a while ago that I wanted to purchase a Paula Vaughn that complemented this piece because of the fact that I really adore it. So I went and searched for a Paula Vaughn that has this type of quilt on it, which is an English paper piece quilt. And I managed to find this one. I bought this leaflet from an Etsy shop, I think out of Canada. She had a bunch of like vintage Paula Vaughn leaflets, and I purchased this one. So for Mother's May or Mother's Day May, I'm going to start this project here because it's the complementary piece to the other Paula Vaughn that my mom gave me. I did the Mother's Day gift last year, so this just kind of fits perfectly for that. So in June, I want to start this project here, which is called Victorian Dollhouse. Now, I bought this on Etsy, so there is every chance that I bought it from somebody who stole the artwork, because I don't actually even remember how much I spent on it or even what shop it came from. I will try to do that research. But I have seen one other person on Instagram stitch this, and I haven't seen anybody else stitching it. But I find that this is so stinking cute. I just can't get over it. So I've been excited to start it. Every time I look at it in my stash, I'm like, oh, I gotta start that. So it doesn't really fit into like a theme for June. It's just that I had a spot available, and so I put this right into it because it's super duper cute. I love a dollhouse. I don't know anybody who didn't have some form of a dollhouse growing up. I definitely did. And yeah, I'm excited to get it started. Okay, so July. July is my birthday month, and so I'm gonna do a birthday start. My birthday's on July 2nd, so it just kind of works out that it's at the beginning of the month. So I have collected quite a few Kooler Design Studio projects. I love their patterns. I think they're so stinking cute. And like I showed you before, my Christmas stocking was a Kooler Design Studio pattern, and I just had a fantastic time with it. Really loved it. So I decided I needed to at least start another one since I have so many in my collection now. And so because it's my birthday start in July, I'm gonna do this pattern here, which is called Golden Gate Avenue. And there are two coordinating patterns that are like Victorian houses like this. But this is the one that I'm gonna start in July. And as you can tell, there's a little kitty down in front of each individual house. And if you know me at all, you know that if there is a cat in the pattern, I'm gonna stitch it. So I'm gonna start, you know, just like with one house and stitch it to completion and then go down the avenue, if you will. But, you know, we'll see come July. So in August, that is when Carla has her birthday, and every year she does a stitch along that is a black cat, because she has a black cat, I have a black cat. So this past year I joined her black cat stitch along, and I did my Witchy Desk. But for this coming year, I have a few patterns in my stash that have black cats, and this is one of them. So this is a Riolis kit. I don't think there is an English title on it. I'll find the title and insert it, because I don't think, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. It's not in English. I mean, there are English words. It's just the title's not in English on the front. So there's this little black cat, little cutie patootie sitting on this fence with the moon in the background, or a moon, kind of the suggestion of a moon in the background. There's just a few colors. I think there's only like 6, 7. I think there's only 7 colors, 6 colors. 7. There's 7 colors. So it's very simple. It's gonna be, I think it'll be relatively easy and quick. So this is the start that I have planned for Carla's birthday. And it's gonna be on a 14 count Ada in this kind of tan color. So yeah, Carla, this is gonna be your birthday start next year, or this year, you know what I mean. Okay, so if you watched my video yesterday, you will have seen me complain about how RTO has been kept a little bit of a secret from me. Perhaps not intentionally, but I didn't know really much about them until I had discovered them last month. So I had shown that I bought this kit here. This is called Listening to the Silence. And this is going to be my September start for the next year. I'm going to start her. She is far too stunning to be collecting dust, just waiting for me to start her in my stash. And it's funny because I actually got a message from Amy of Fiber Arts Amy this morning, this morning, where she had said, I think I'm one of the meanies who had kept RTO a secret from you. And she sent me a picture of her holding this exact kit. So I don't hold it against you, Amy, but yes, so I just discovered RTO and made this purchase, and I think she and I are going to try and stitch this together. So currently, Amy, my plan is to slot this in for September of this year. She's a looker, she's a beauty, and she is, where is it? 14 count, it's a 14 count Ada. It looks like just a gray, like a light gray, dove gray Ada. October's next. October's the month that I'm going to be going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat. And that is also the month that I want to have my current Mirabilia finished by. So my plan is that when I get to this retreat, I want to do a new start, and I have picked out this project here, which is actually, it's not a mirror, it's a Nora Corbett, but obviously, you know, she's the mirror designer. And this is called Snapdragon. And so this is the one that I want to start when I go to retreat, which I believe is October like 3rd or 4th. It's right at the beginning of the month. And so I'm planning on starting her when I get there. I chose her specifically for the retreat because since she's a Nora, she's a little bit smaller. It looks like on a 32 count, her finished size is gonna be 5.3 inches by 9.8 inches. So, you know, that's small for, compared to other mirrors. So I think she'll be a good travel project. You know, there's not like an insane amount of colors or materials compared to other projects. So this is going to be my October start at the retreat, and that's Snapdragon. Okay, so now we've come to November, and for November I just have another cute little pattern that has been sitting far too long in my stash waiting for me to start it, and so I pulled this one out. It is a full coverage, but it's little, and by little I mean it is, let's see, on a 16 count, which is more my preferred size to stitch, or preferred count to stitch on, it's 5.5 by 10 3/4. So it's pretty small. That's not to say it will be fast, because there are a bunch of colors and it is full coverage with a lot of like back stitching and stuff. But it's very pretty, very cute. This is, I didn't tell you what it's called. It's called Enticing. Maribel's Enticing, and it's just this cute little snippet of a door with a kitty sitting in front waiting to be let inside. I think it's beautiful. So this is gonna be my November start. Okay, so we've made it to the end. We've got one more project to show you. It's gonna be my intended December start for the next year, and Mr. Man decided he wanted to come join us for the end of the video. So for the very last start of the year, so I found this kit at Joann's, and I purchased it, and this is going to be my December start. This is another DesignWorks kit. Can you tell I love DesignWorks? And what is it called? Friendship Teapots. This is called Friendship Teapots. So it's kind of like a little kitchen, vaguely sampler-esque style. And the quote at the bottom says, "While the pot boils, friendship blossoms." And I bought this because it reminded me, because of the like blue and white ceramics, it reminded me of the Delft pottery that my mom collects. And so there's a little bit of a nostalgic feel to it, but also, like, I'm very much a tea drinker. It's the usual drink I have with my breakfast. And so I just thought it was, I don't know, there's something very quaint and like sweet about it that I couldn't ignore. And while it's really not like my normal style, I think it's so precious and cute. And anytime I look at it, I think about how much I really want to start this one. So I squeezed it in the last possible slot at the end of the year for December. And this is going to be my December start. And this is stitched on, if I know my fabric, that's a 14 count. Yep. Yeah, 14 count Aida, and it looks like it's an ivory or a cream. There's the bundle of threads. So yeah, I'm down to one hand because my dog is monopolizing the other one by covering it in kisses. So this is very difficult to do with one hand. But yeah, those are my intended starts for the next year. If you guys have any of those projects and decide you want to start them too, let me know. Definitely we can come up with some sort of hashtag to do a stitch along. That would be totally fun. And of course, I'm going to keep working on the projects that I've already started. So remember, I have 7 WIPs that I'm carrying over to this year, and I'm going to be adding 12 more. So I've got some smalls that I didn't show, some that I haven't even purchased yet, but they're in either like my wish list or they're on Etsy. And so those might get added as well. So that's a fair amount of WIPs, at least for me, for a newbie. 19 is a fair amount, you know. I don't think you can argue that it's not. But I definitely wanted to have more going on, more variety, more things to keep you guys interested as well, but not be so overwhelmed by the number of WIPs that I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything more than just like a couple of stitches on any of these projects at a time. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my plan. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get some of the small things finished. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get the Magical Creatures calendar finished, the other projects that I said I wanted to focus on finished. We'll see. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm just gonna keep stitching. So that's my plan. And I'm wanted to make this video also to be able to reflect on it in January of 2024 to see how many of these goals that I set for myself I was able to accomplish, what changed, what stayed the same, etc. So I'm really enjoying watching all of your WIP parades and all of your plans for this coming year. Let me know what you think about what you've seen here today. Of course, if you have any questions at all, post them down below. I will link as much as humanly possible in the description. And of course, you can always reach out to me either from my Instagram account, or my Gmail account is listed down below as well. And let me just wrap up by saying that I genuinely thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for taking even the slightest amount of interest in what I'm putting on the internet and what I'm creating here with my hobby. I'm genuinely grateful to have made friends all over this country now and the world, really. You guys are really cool. I think you're pretty cool. So I'm glad to have met you through this avenue. But until the end of January, enjoy your new year. I hope it was awesome. Mine was pretty great. Enjoy your stitchy and creative time, and I'll see you guys in a month. Bye.